Welcome to newspaper analysis session. Topics that we are going to cover today. It is about the main topic is about the minimum support price. Then we will understand about the Kachativu Island dispute that is there between the India and the Sri Lanka. And then we will try to understand a little bit about the immune system based on the article that is given in the Hindu. So we will try to understand how the immune system functions and how it is relevant to the vaccines and vaccine development. So we'll see brief understanding about that. Then there was some fact related to the global warming. We have discussed yesterday something briefly about the Paris Convention. So I have picked up this thing so that you get that concept revised, whatever we have discussed yesterday, so that you get some kind of revision. So when one topic we study in different formats, you will able to remember that thing for a longer duration. So these current affairs are more like examples. You are getting different types of the examples to study the same topic. Your retention will be more when I teach you the same topic with the different examples each and every day. So definitely at one point you will get the conceptual clarity. So just stick to these things. And then we have already discussed various animals. Now can you see here? Now we are going to discuss today about the dugong, which is considered to be a sea cow. Already UPSC has asked on this animal in the prelims. Okay. So we will see little bit about this thing. Now in the current affairs, we have seen a new highway project has been announced in the Andhra Pradesh. I have picked up not from the Andhra Pradesh perspective. I have picked up to give you the information related to the what are industrial corridors and why these highways are important for us and what are the PPP projects. So we will do certain basic things related to the PPP and how it is relevant for the your UPSC mains point of view. Where is the syllabus and what is the syllabus and from where the questions can be asked on these things we will discuss. So these are the certain topics that we are going to discuss for today. This is for the 29th May. Now if you can see here, again see Supreme Court Collegium moves transfer of 4 High Court Chief Justices. We know collegium system. What is the collegium system? Group of body of judges. Okay. Is this mentioned in the Constitution? No, it is not mentioned in the Constitution. Through various Supreme Court judges, first judge case, second judge case and third judge's case, current collegium system has been evolved. Initially, it was said appointment of the judges of the High Court and Supreme Court will be done by the President in consultation with the CJI. Later on, this consultation has become concurrence and not just alone CJI alone, collegium system has been evolved. We have seen this thing, how this thing has evolved in the first judges, second judges and third judges case. Now, the same collegium system is also deciding on the matters of transfer of judges from one court to the other court. So the collegium system is taking care of appointments of judges in the High Court as well as the Supreme Court. So these things keep coming in the news. You have to revise. We have discussed this thing. I have told you every month that you will receive the data about the IIP. We have also seen one more index couple of days back. Core index. If you remember, core index. So I have told you that day, index of industrial production. So we need to find out how our industrial sector is growing. This index of industrial production is given by the Ministry of Statistics. If you have revised your notes, that day I have told you IIP is released by the Ministry of Statistics. Within this IIP itself, there are certain industries, 8 industries, okay, which are considered to be core industries, which constitute to be 40% of weightage in this IIP. So that was released by Ministry of Commerce. Okay, now this is by the Ministry of Statistics. Now they are saying, we have also seen the core industries is not going. Now 40% of the industries are not going. So definitely IIP is also must be not growing. Okay, so they have said the same thing. 8-month low of the 2.7% in April. Now this fact is not that important for you. Unless you are going to write mains next month. Okay, then you will say recently this is happening. Or else we need to know this is Ministry of Statistics will release information about your economic growth and they also release about your industrial performance, index of industrial performance, IIP. Through this, you will analyze how your industries are performing. Now, what are the 3 key things that are present in this IIP? Okay, in the core sectors, we have seen 8 industries. In the same way, in the IIP, there are manufacturing, mining, and electricity. These are the 3 core things that are present in the IIP index. So, what are the things that I remember here in the IIP? So, it is given by the Ministry of Statistics. Primarily, it comprises of the manufacturing, mining and the electricity. Rest of the things are not that important. Okay. So even now if you read the article, it will be easy for you to understand. Growth in industrial activity in the country slowed an 8-month low of 2.7%. in April 2025, dragged down by lower activity, including in the mining, quarrying, electricity, primary goods, infrastructure and constructions, and non-durables, according to the Index of Industrial Production released by the Ministry of Statistics Program Implementation on Wednesday. Okay. So now things are getting easy for you to and you are able to understand these things. Capital goods. Okay, these capital goods are nothing but those goods are helpful in the production. You will understand in your economy. Always, it is very important for the for us to develop those capital goods. Capital goods means in one line. If I ask you what are the capital goods, those goods that helps in the production is called the capital goods. Now, for suppose I have the laptop with me. Okay, I have the camera with me. Now the same camera, I'm just taking my pictures to upload on my Instagram and all. So now this is not going to keep any production. The same camera is being used to record the classes to produce something, knowledge, produce economy, something production is happening. Now this becomes a capital good, right? Anything if it is generated doing some kind of production, capital good, right? Consumer goods means anything which people we consume immediately. Okay, it is not helpful in the production. That is difference. Okay, I'm just giving you. I told you, mentioned you here capital goods because this is the most important thing. Capital goods comes with the investment. Okay, now this is capital everything because everything here is related to the helping in the production of the same AC here. It is helping in the sustaining class or something. So this is playing role in production. The same AC, if I utilize it for my home, then it becomes a consumer good. I'm using for my self consumption. Here, this thing becomes different. Got the clarity? And capital goods play the role. So the more growth of the capital goods, the more will be your growth of industries. Okay. Now see here, this is the point that yesterday we have mentioned. I was telling you that we are, through the Paris Accords, we are basically trying to restrict temperatures of our Earth's surface not rise beyond 2 degrees centigrade. Target is 1.5. At least max 2 degrees. From which level? I am saying the rise of temperature should not go beyond 2 degrees centigrade. From which level? Based on some 1750s industrial revolution time period. I told you, industrial revolution started in the 1750s. First it started in the UK, England. Okay, later on it transferred to the Europe. Okay, then USA, Japan, all these things. Now it is time of Asians. Okay, so this industrial revolution has released lot of greenhouse gases. Yesterday also we have discussed. See, industries. So the industries are releasing gases, especially various gases. Some are pollutants, some are the greenhouse gases. Okay, so these are the primary pollutants. Pollutants means unwanted substances, gases, substances in atmosphere. Anything unwanted, you are a pollutant. If you are unwanted, you are a pollutant. Okay, so you need to remember pollutant means unwanted thing in the existing thing. Greenhouse gas. What is greenhouse gas? Basically, greenhouse gas, even this year they have asked, simple NCERT thing. These are the gases that trap the heat. From the sun, you are getting the radiation. Then it will hit the earth surface. After hitting the earth surface, it will go back. Reflected terrestrial radiation. This gas will be trapped. This heat, not heat. Okay, sorry, not gas. This heat will be, this radiation will be trapped by gases. This is called, these gases are called greenhouse gases. They are not immediately leaving the earth surface. They are trapped for a certain period of time. And because of this thing only, you are facing average temperatures. Like in the night, there is no sun. You should have felt so cold. But still, these gases are trapping it. Because of this thing, you feel that warmth. So this is the role of greenhouse gas. Now, what if I increase the composition of these gases? Global warming. Because of the industrial revolution, this is what happening. More and more rise of carbon dioxide, more and more global warming. So our target is to reduce these greenhouse gases. So that's why we have made a Paris Accord in the 2015. In the 2015, we have made a deal that every country will develop their own INDC, nationally determined contributions. Whatever the things you want to do, you do. But our ultimate target is our global warming should not rise beyond 2 degrees centigrade. Once a question was asked in one of the state PSC, I guess, why 2 degrees centigrade? Why not 1, 1.5, 3, 3.5? So, if temperature rises beyond 2 degrees centigrade, the consequences cannot be it cannot be reverted back to its original position. Whatever the consequences we get, so it will be like something you cannot correct it beyond. Okay, there will be breaking point is there for everything. Okay, so it's like that. The 2 degrees centigrade is a kind of breaking point. So the consequences will be very high. There will be severe melting of glaciers. There will be severe earth volcanoes, okay, or floods. All these kind of severe disasters you will see, and you can't handle it. So maximum limit is 2 degrees centigrade. And USA, like country, the great with great power comes great responsibility. Their great responsibilities, they don't sign all these kind of agreements. Okay, so there is 70% chance that average warming will exceed 1.5 degrees centigrade in the next 4 years. Now you have understood the importance of this thing. Okay. So now this thing, Manipur, we have discussed yesterday, present rule is there. So before forming the government, there should be, like say, if there is any party, if they feel, okay, the elections has to be conducted, then there should be some kind of confidence. This parties, this group of political parties or this political party can form a government. Something, okay, the process is going on. Nothing from the exam relevant point of view. If anything major thing happens, we will see. All the political notes keep on coming, then we'll see. Now see, Hyderabad teenager becomes youngest Indian to finish 7 summits challenge. So basically, he climbed all those highest peaks from the every continent. So we'll see. Where is that? Can you keep it in silent mode? So just we need to have, so what are those highest peaks from every continent? We have already seen Mount Everest. Now just have an idea. This is what I was trying to tell you. Okay, you should always every day look at the map. Stick those kind of maps in your room. Okay, so see, this is Atlantic, this is the Pacific, this is the North America, South America, Antarctica, Europe. Have a look at these continents, Australia. Okay, then you will get the clarity. Mount McKinley. Now this is the Alaska province. Now can you see that they have asked the question in the geography, they have asked the question on the time, the international date line, times concept. So they were asking some location here in the Alaska, and basically these are interconnected. Okay, we are just making them flat, but basically it is a circular globe kind of structure. This place and this place are close to each other. So they were asking a time difference between this spot and this spot, something like that. So for that, you should be having clarity on the map. Okay, so from where the equator is passing, from where the Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn is passing, you need to go through these locations every day. So I have given those facts. Aconcagua. Okay, now this was the highest peak in this Andes mountain. Okay, here you have the Rockies, the western part fold mountains in the North America. Here you have the Andes. So they have asked. So basically, see, Andes pass through these western parts of the continent. They have asked through which locations. Basically, Brazil and this Paraguay is in the eastern part. So that's why they are asking. So you need to have the at least bigger location. It is very difficult. Still, if you are aware, like this is the western part and this Brazil and this part is in the east, you can take guess. So I have given you the factual thing you need to go through. Okay, so some students will also get confused about what is Oceania. Oceania is not a continent. Okay, basically Oceania means Australia, New Zealand, Pacific Islands. That geography we call it as Oceania group of islands. You will see this words recurring in the news. Oceania Islands. Okay, Oceania Islands means this group of islands. Australia, New Zealand, Pacific Islands, we call them as a Oceania group of islands. Next, dugongs. Okay, so I thought I captured the image also, but I forgot. These are considered as a farmers of the sea, famous name. Okay, because they eat grass. They maintain the biodiversity in the sea surface. Okay, so because if they don't eat the grass will grow very big. So these are the just like cows, because why are we calling them cows? Because cow eat the grass. So these are the animals who eat the grass that are present in the sea floor, and they maintain all the biodiversity or ecosystem is in a balanced state. Now these animals are also in the dying state. If you can see here, dugongs are protected in India, and they will ask where are they present. These sea cows, they have already asked in the prelims. They are present only in these locations: Gulf of Mannar, Parkway, Gulf of Kutch, and the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. And these are the animals of vulnerable category. We have already seen situation of tiger, I told you all these things belong to one category. Tiger, lion and the elephant. All these three belongs to endangered category. Okay, now this animal will belong to vulnerable category. Okay, that is the point that you need to do. So IUCN, I told you, this is a civil society. And this releases a, I told you, status of red book. Okay, status of various animals. It will do the survey and which animal is struggling, which animal is doing well. So it will keep on releasing the data. So according to the data, IUCN's red list, it is listed as vulnerable on IUCN red list and regionally endangered in India. That is a point that has been mentioned. So that point you can remember. The population in India is around 200 individuals, primarily in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Gulf of Mannar, Park Bay and the Gulf of Kutch. So why they are dying? So basically in the fishing nets they are getting captured. When you go for the fishing, these cows are also getting captured. Illegal hunting, poaching, always hunting, poaching, this is the habitat loss everywhere. These are the common points. Okay, so we are trying to protect them, preserve them. That point that you need to know. That's it. These are the small points that you need to know. See here, we have discussed about the 2015 Paris Climate Accords, also known as Paris Agreement. It is an international treaty aimed at addressing the climate change by limiting global warming. So these kind of small lines, it will give us clarity. When I was in the preparation, when I was in the initial days of the preparation, so when I used to try to prepare one line, some essence notes, so in that one line, I should get the concise information of what is that. Paris Accord. When you think about this thing, in one line, you should have the crystal clear clarity what is that. Then only your concepts will become clear. Now we will discuss PPP. In the PPP also, I will show you my notes which I have prepared some years back. Okay, even the same notes I am using it to teach it to the students, because in the one line, I try to make myself clear what is the PPP, what are the various methods under the PPP. We will discuss that thing. Now I have given this thing so that to tell you, okay, the importance of these kind of facts, and the prelims they will ask you. Okay, now this is the Califia Sinofurokia, but I do not know how it is getting pronounced. Okay, so scientists have discovered this fly in the Arunachal Pradesh. So this is an important species that was discovered in the last 160 years. Now see here in Arunachal Pradesh, you have this Dibang, Siang valleys. So this species has found out. Okay, sometimes they will ask in the prelims direct question. Okay, they will give this species name and they will say where it is found. Okay, here you need to know one more point. In Arunachal Pradesh, there is a zero valley. Okay, zero valley, which is known for very good biodiversity. Okay, remember this Siang and Dibang areas. Later on also I will try to count, because you have a Dihang Dibang Biosphere Reserve is also there in the end points of your Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, with this name. Okay, and you also see various rivers flowing in this area. So this is an important location. That's why I have taken up, so that revision happens to you. Okay, so this was the thing. New highway project was announced. Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs has approved the construction of 108 kilometers 4-lane greenfield highway. Now, see benefits. What are the nodes that it will connect? Okay, Visakhapatnam, Chennai. If the question is asked in the Andhra Pradesh economy, so about the roadways and all, there it will be helpful. But in the UPSC, they will not ask this thing. What are the where are the nodes and all? I have picked up this article so that I will be able to teach you what is this industrial corridor. Okay, so that is the reason I have taken up this thing. So what is this public-private partnership? What are the roadways? Now see. Now within the roadways, within the roads, you have national highways, state highways, district roads, rural roads, right? This is the major one. These are very broad in nature. Basically, they carry 40% of the traffic, but they are basically around 2 to 4% in composition among the total roads. They carry 40% of the traffic. Okay, that's the reason most of the accidents happens in the national highways. We are trying to expand these national highways. Okay, these are taken care by the states, especially like with the cooperation from the center. This is the one the central government is trying to expand. Now these roads, like we have discussed, has various importance. Like say if any kind of security threat, we need roads. That's why we are constructing roads in the Arunachal across the McMahon line. I have told you, we have given you this thing. And again, roads will provide you end-to-end connectivity. Railways or your airways cannot reach beyond a certain point. Roadways, end-to-end connectivity. Okay, so you can use your cycle on road and you can reach wherever your friend is there directly. You can get it. You can reach his home, but it is not possible with a railway. So basically, roadways have more advantage. So they are very much helpful in the trade. They play the role in employment generation, GDP, and all. So that's why we are focusing more on the roadways. But this involves so much of money. Can the central government alone generate all the money? No. No, central government has various mechanisms to generate the money. Understand this thing. So from where the union government or government, we'll say government, will raise the money. First thing is taxes. Right? This is the prime resource. Right? Then recently government, apart from these taxes, government is also thinking of disinvestment. Disinvestment means, okay, so if government companies are there, so they will sell out some shares. So government will sell the shares and they are getting the money. Okay, so through disinvestment they are getting the money. So government want to raise more and more money. So government will also do the borrowing. This is one way. But if you do more borrowing is equal to simply fiscal deficit. This was a question that was asked. What is fiscal deficit? Fiscal deficit is nothing but the borrowing of the government. Direct statement they have given, very fundamental question. They will do the borrowing. So government is also trying to come out with the new ways and mechanisms to raise the finances. This is the topic given in your GS3, mobilization of resources. If you read the main topic syllabus, mobilization of the resources. These are the mobilization of resources. Okay, here from the mobilization of resources, there was a question this year. Okay, they will ask every year. Okay, now from this year itself, okay, asset monetization. Asset monetization. Okay, this was also one of the concept. Basically, asset monetization means simply government has unused property. Railways has a lot of land. Government has a lot of land. Okay, so one of you guys will go to railway government and they will say, you will say, so we will build some kind of entertainment mall, some kind of facility there. Okay, but you will say, Mr. Government, this land is yours. So we want to develop this thing. What shall we do? So government says, okay, take it for the lease. You develop the infrastructure there, collect any revenue, then we'll share it accordingly. Okay, or since we are giving it to the lease, then you develop, you have that money. Okay, so this is one way to generate the money. Asset monetization, basically giving rent at land, idle land, or whatever the resources, or say any thermal power project government has started, but they are not using that thermal company or whatever thermal power plant. Now give it for the lease and generate the money. Various ways government is raising the money. Now another way is, the main way is PPP, public-private partnership. Private will bring the money. So not entire money, government cannot do the investment. Government is basically the facilitator. Okay, so that's why government is trying to reduce its role. Government should be more like a facilitator. I am providing proper stability, I am providing proper law and order scenarios, all these things. Private players should do the investment. Government will do investments in the areas of like social obligation. So government will invest in the health, education, in the rural areas where there is no much profit generation. Will the private sector will do the investment in the areas where there is no profit? No. Government should intervene. Okay, government should intervene where there is a monopoly created by the private sector. Okay, so these are the ways how government will try to balance things. So this is public-private partnership. Even in the national health policy, they say government will collaborate with the private sector to provide the health services to the people. Okay, now, okay, everything is good. So government and the private player will collaborate with each other to do development. So in what ways we have to do this thing? See here, this is PPP, public-private partnership, involves collaboration between government and the private sector to finance, build and operate projects. Now this thing, build, operate, transfer. So now, okay, so I am a private player, so I will go to the government and I will say, see, I will develop the roadways here. Okay, then government will say, okay, you develop. Then I will ask money, from where will I get the money? You develop, you collect the operate and you collect the toll. And you get the money. So you operate it for 20 years, whatever the money you recover. Okay, so this is for yours because of the investment you made. Then later on you will transfer it. So build, operate, transfer. See here, the private entity collects tolls to recover its investment and returns any excess to the government. Simple. here BOT annuity means the government will collect the tax. Okay, the government will not allow the private labor to collect the tolls. Government will say, no, we will collect the tolls. You might impose high. Every year we will give you fixed amount to this. Certain times private labor will also accept this thing because tolls, those are not certain. Maybe traffic in that area is not good. Suddenly you might have taken shortcut. You might have met some other friend. Okay, you thought, okay, you will meet that friend and you will go in this way instead of going that way. Government has built this way. Tolls. Okay, there can be the risk. So, okay, this can also be a good model. BOT annuity, where government says every year we will pay fixed amount. Okay, then after certain years when it is over, then it is completely ours. Here, little variation, that's it. You need to know first understand at least BOT. Here there is ownership also. Will own and operate and transfer. As long as they own, okay, as long as they operate, they will also own. That means they can also do some kind of redevelopment. They can utilize that asset. They can generate extra revenue or any problem in that area, something road again got damaged. Now you are the owner. You have to repair it. Okay. In that case, previous case, we are not the owner. We are just operating to again government has to provide money. Okay, but in this case, I am the owner. So again, I have to take care. My slight differences. So understood what is BOT? These are the variations. Now see here, another thing. Okay, build, own, operate. Now there is no concept of transfer. For suppose in the mining, I am going for the mining. So in that area, there are limited amount of like resources. I will do mining. Finally, that area is no more having any kind of resource. Build, own, operate. That's it. There is no concept of transfer here. So accordingly, government will decide. What is EPC? EPC means, so government will take all the finance. So engineering, procurement, construction will be private. Okay, the private sector designs and constructs the project. So I am the private player. So government is giving contract to me. Government saying, you take this much of contract. Okay, like we will pay you this much, you build. But challenge is, can the government raise that money? Again, that is a problem, right? Government may not be having that much of finances. So making that way, it can be challenging in this EPC. So came the HAM, hybrid annuity model, where government will do 40% finance, private sector will do the 60% finance, and government will pay it to the private player every year in the means of annuity. Means every year little bit. Annuity means annually fixed amount. That's it. As long as the deal is there, okay, till then government will keep on paying, then finally it is transferred. These are the ways how which government and the private player collaborate in terms of the investment. There is toll, operate, transfer. Now for suppose already, like I have mentioned about this, what is this asset, what is the thing I have mentioned previously? Asset monetization. Asset monetization. In the asset monetization, we have said we are giving for the lease that particular area. Now this is where already things are existing. There, toll, operate, transfer. You go for this thing where you can you can collect the new fees and then later on you can transfer it to it. So here you need to understand two words, greenfield and the brownfield. Greenfield means completely new, nothing is there. Here plain surface. You come here in the new area, you develop the infrastructure, that is a greenfield. Already something is there. Okay, you need to do the redevelopment or rebuild something there. That is a brownfield. Clear? So PPP collaboration happens in everywhere. So they will ask questions. Okay, still this is just a basic. There is a lot to study in the PPP. So why the PPP giving us issues? What kind of regulatory framework is there? Okay, what kind of modifications should we do? Okay, one of the PYQ, UPSC PYQ question. What should be things that should be kept in mind while making these PPP deals between the government and the private party? Okay, this was the UPSC PYQ and same question was asked in APPSC also, similar question. So your say APPSC, TSPSC or any state PSC, they will pick up the question from the UPSC mains and prelims questions. Okay, you need to solve the UPSC mains and prelims even if you are preparing for the state exams. You need to prepare with that standard. Okay, if you prepare with that standard, then state exams concepts will become easy for you. Now, roads we have discussed. In that roads, one of the important different type of the road is the industrial corridor. So basically, industrial corridor means roadways that are connecting the industrial areas. Now, say this is one industrial area and this is one industrial area. Now, I am developing the roads. These are the industrial corridors. Or this road is connecting to from industry to the port. These are the industrial corridors. Where we concerned of developing these kind of things? Now, say for suppose I want to develop an iron and steel industry. Now here, here let's say you have this iron and steel industry, but this iron and steel industry also needs some kind of chemicals. Here there is a chemical industry. This chemical industry also needs some kind of chemicals, okay, and or some kind of byproducts of the iron industry, some iron, okay. So there is a network that will develop like this and this, and both of them will grow if we develop this kind of industrial corridors. Basically, roadways, they are connecting different industrial areas. So this entire road sector area will be developed. If you see this Visakhapatnam and Chennai industrial corridor, they are talking about various nodes. In between, there are so many ports. So basically, socio-economic development of this entire middle area will happen. Are you able to understand? Are you able to connect concept? So they will ask in the mains, significance of industrial corridors. What is industrial corridor? Basically, these are the roads or road networks that are connecting two major industrial zones. What is the significance? Employment generation, connectivity between two industries. Now, this is, once you know the concept, then you will be able to generate more points. In the prelims, they will ask this industrial corridor and this industrial corridor. Okay, what is the connecting point? Like say Visakhapatnam and Chennai. Okay, is this passing through this state or not? Is it passing through Andhra Pradesh or not? Is it passing through Tamil Nadu or not? Okay, like this they will ask. We have so many such industrial corridor. I think 10 or 14 or something we have. Okay, so that is for the prelims. You understood the concept of industrial corridor? See here, funding sources for these roads and all, asset monetization, external commercial borrowing. Okay, National Infrastructure Investment Fund. This was a fund created for the specifically to finance this infrastructure projects. Okay, NAPID. This is also one of the financial institution created to fund for infrastructure projects. Various mechanisms created by the government. There is nothing more than this. So these things, it is not given in any books. We'll sit and we'll brainstorm. Once we get the clarity, we'll brainstorm and we'll add at one point. I have given you this thing so that you get the clarity. Now, how are we generating? Now, what kind of road models we have? You have the Golden Quadrilateral, Bharat Mala, Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. This is for the rural roads. Bharat Mala is basically covering your border areas. Bharat Mala. Okay, where do you generally have the Mala? If you take the India map, okay, you are adding like a Mala. So basically, in the border areas, you are trying to develop the roads. Okay, so comprehensive road networks we are basically focusing on. These things we'll discuss later on. I have just given you at this point so that you feel connectivity. What kind of roadway projects we have? Okay, Golden Corridor and all. This thing, if you need not by heart and memorize everything at one place, at one point. Remember some things. Like I mentioned, these things keep on coming in the news. Someday, again, we'll discuss about the Golden Quadrilateral, Bharat Mala individually. So then you will be able to link this thing again. Okay, this is where we are generating the funds. This is the importance of the roadways. Okay, then we have already discussed that. So once the frameworks are settled, within the 2, 3, 4 months time span, everything will be fixed. So, see here, national they carries 40% of the traffic being less than 2% of the total road length. Challenges in the roadways. Okay, and they lack multimodal connectivity. Means roadways are not connected to the portways. Portways are not connected to the airways. There is no multimodal connectivity. Multimodal means we have told you, we have discussed in the previous session. Another session where multimodal transport means roadways, railways, portways, airways, inland waterways, everything. All kind of transport should be there. We need multimodal connectivity for better transport, for good transport, cheaper and effective transport. Okay, such a kind of transport we are yet to develop. We are still in the process of developing that thing. Kachatibu Island. So basically, this is a dispute between India and Sri Lanka. See, can you see here? This is the area where you have the Kachatibu Island. So in 1974, okay, Indian government has given this Kachatibu Island to the Sri Lanka. But this area, is area like Tamil Nadu contests this thing. They say India should take back this Kachatibu Island because this area has good amount of fish resources. Our Indian fishermen will go there and they'll come in dispute with the Sri Lanka fishermen. They'll be caught by the Sri Lanka fishermen. Okay, so Tamil Nadu government says, okay, this we have to take back this island. Okay, currently, this is a part of Sri Lanka. We have given it to the Sri Lanka. Tamil Nadu says we should take back. Okay, but why to take back? In my opinion, it will unnecessarily lead to another like a kind of dispute between India and Sri Lanka. So instead, we should develop a kind of competence for our Indian fishermen to do the deep sea fishing. You have entire sea. You train them with more like facilities. You provide them big containers, big ships, so that they can go deep into the sea. Currently, what happens with our Indian fishermen? They do not have proper ships. They do not have proper early warning system. If there are cyclones and these kind of activities, if they are going with the small boats, they can get like affected with these kind of hazards, right? They should be having proper ships with them. So generally, what happens with the developed countries is they will use these kind of ships which also have the refrigerators in them. So they will go deep inside the oceans and they will stay there for 5 days, 1 week, and they collect good number of fishes, okay, and they will keep them. But in India case, they can't do that much of activity. We do not have ships. We have boats, small boats. You might have seen in the movies. Okay, what is the recent one? So that is a scenario. Okay, so these things happen. So we need to build the capacity of the Indian fishermen to do the deep sea fishing. So understood the point? So now the same thing, if they are asked in the ethics, okay, they will not ask Kachativu Island. They will say, okay, let's say this kind of dispute is happening. What will you do? If you are a foreign affairs minister, what will you suggest? And then they will say, okay, we can build the capacity in this way. We can develop. So lack of this capacity also one of the reason why we are not reaching our fishing capacity, whatever the maximum potential we have. We are not hitting that potential. Though we are one of the largest producer of the fish market industry, but still we are not able to compete with the developed countries because of the same thing. We do not have proper infrastructure. We may whatever the fish we are getting, but we do not have cold storage facilities also. Okay, they will so because of the heat and all, they will get spoiled. So we need to build that instead of focusing on these things. So then issue will be resolved. Now another important topic that we are going to discuss is about the MSP. See, Kachativu, that's what we have discussed. Lokpal, we will discuss someday. And whoever is watching, for the mains, Lokpal this year is very important for the mains. So you need to know what is the Lokpal, what is the structure of the Lokpal, what are the powers of the Lokpal, functions of the Lokpal, and the challenges of the Lokpal. One day I will take the Lokpal. Cabinet approves hike in the MSP for Kharif crops. Outlay stands at 2 lakh crores. Understand? So if you see here, so now we are an agrarian country. Now we have 140 crore population and we need food security. If the farmer is not getting guarantee for his production, he may give up the agriculture. This was a scenario during the British time period. There was huge agrarian crisis. They used to give up their lands because of the huge tax imposed by the British authorities. The farmer used to give up his land and they used to leave that area. Because of that thing, there was no enough food for our Indian. If you have seen in the other article, one of the articles, so India has record rice production and also food grain production. Okay, so there was one article. So India once considered as a begging bowl because we have asked for rice, food grains from the USA. We have imported rice before our Green Revolution time period. But today we are one of the largest rice exporter. We are one of the largest food grain production. We are in the food grain production. So this thing can happen with various factors, with technology, like green revolution and all. But most important factor is the farmer should feel assured. He should not feel, if I produce something, there is no market for me. Generally, if you produce more, what happens in agriculture? If more and more things is produced, price will fall down. The production should not be so high that it is affecting the demand. Okay, if the production is more than the demand, price will fall. General basic economics, right? If the supply is more than the demand, price will come down. If the supply is less than the demand, then price will increase. If the price increase, inflation, and this will hurt the citizen. So if the price is increased, it is inflation, it will hurt. We have the poor people, so they cannot afford the system. So what happens if the price is increased? So when the price will increase? So when the supply is decreased and demand is high, right? So what do they want? So they want prices to be low. Okay. So what do they want? They want prices to be high. So for them, price should be high means supply should not be that much enough. Supply should be less than the demand. Now, in order to meet this conflicting situation, what the government does is, government will come in between. Government says, no matter what is the market scenario, we will give you minimum support price to the farmers. Minimum. You will not feel pain. Minimum this much of the amount will be definitely giving to you. You will not face any kind of market related distortion. So then farmer will go for the sowing. Before the sowing season, sowing and harvesting. Sowing means you are going and dropping the seeds. Harvesting means collecting back what you have generated. Before the sowing season itself, government is coming and saying, now this much we will give you as per the MSP. Okay, minimum support price. Now government will collect this thing from the farmer and they will store in the godowns and they will give it to the citizens at the cheaper price through ration cards, PDS systems and all. So for this government, it will cost 2 lakh crores yearly every year. This is called food subsidy. So till here, clear? Okay. So for how many crops MSP is announced? MSP is announced for 25 crops. Till here we'll discuss. Okay, let's go back to the map. Okay, see here. This is the context. Cabinet approves hike in the MSP for the Kharif crops. Outlet stand at 2 lakh crore. Okay, we'll come to that thing. This is a market intervention by the government of India designed to protect the agriculture producers against any shortfall in the farm prices. It is announced at the beginning of the sowing season, very important for the prelims, for certain crops based on the recommendation of Commission for Agriculture Cost and the Prices. So given recommendation by Commission for Agriculture Cost and the Prices, CACP, very important body. And this will be finally approved by government. The government here, it will be approved by, what is the body? Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs. Okay, the same thing, let me just. The Cabinet Committee on the Economic Affairs of the Union Government makes the final decision on the level of the MSPs and another recommendations made by the CACP. That was the once UPSC PYQ. Who is taking the final call? Okay, CACP is a recommendatory body. Okay, Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs will take the final call. So for how many crops? 25 crops it is announced. CACP will announce for the 23 and there are 2 more other crops. Based on that, it will be given. See here, this is also important. CACP, an attached office. It is not a statutory body. It is an attached office of the Ministry of Agriculture and Farm Welfare. Recommends MSP for 23 commodities, including 7 cereals, paddy, wheat, maize, sorghum, all these things, 7 oilseeds, 5 pulses, and 4 commercial crops, copra, sugarcane, cotton, and the raw jute. Okay. What are the factors it considers? Basic factors you can see. Okay, just you can go through. Okay, what is the cost of production that has been happened? Based on that, minimum assured price will be given. Now, more than this thing, what is important here is one second. In the context of the minimum support price calculation, A2, FL and C2 refer to the different cost components of the agriculture production. Very important. A2 represents the direct cost. So if I am going for some kind of sowing, so fertilizer cost or input cost like seeds cost or any kind of tilling, all those, whatever the input that is required, will consider as a kind of A2. And then there is a FL. A2 plus FL includes family labor cost. Whoever the family that is involved, basically the same people, the household people will do the farming, and that's how they will go for the sowing. Okay. So if I decide MSP, including that family labor cost also, then that is A2 plus FL. Currently, while offering the price of MSP, it is based on A2 plus FL. But there is a recommendation, even MS Swaminathan committee has suggested, it should be C2. C2 is the most comprehensive cost, factoring in land rent, fixed capital. You might be using some land for the generation of the production of the agriculture as well. So whatever the land rent is there, even include it in that. So more price will be given to the farmer, but this will increase the MSP cost. So government is currently fixed to this A2 plus FL. So are we clear so far? So what is this MSP and on what basis the MSP price is arrived? Who is recommending it? CSEP. Who is finally deciding it? Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs. Very fundamental thing. But here the problem is, every year government is raising the MSP value. And MSP, I have mentioned that 23 plus 2 for crops have been announced. But MSP is implemented only for mostly for the rice and the wheat. So this is causing the problem. This is causing crop distortion. If I am getting minimum guarantee price for the rice, will I go for the pulses? If I go for the, will I go for the oil seeds? Will I go for the millets? If it is properly implemented only for the rice and wheat, then I will go for production of only rice and wheat. That's why crop distortion, cropping pattern distortion is happening. But rice consumes more water. I have mentioned you yesterday, rice consumes more water. This is also causing environmental problems. And you, for the vote banks, if you are increasing the MSP price, like this is going to cause market distortion because huge subsidy burden. So these are the certain concerns associated with the MSP. Now, these days, if you have seen, there are farm groups, they are asking for legal basis for MSP. Currently, there is no statutory backing. There is no law that mentions the MSP, minimum support price, should be given to the farmer. There is no such kind of law. This is an executive decision. Every year it is done. But farmers want law. Now, should it be given in the law basis? Okay. The people claims, okay, different business people also claims, why only for the farmers there should be law? Okay, in that case, now I am also teaching classes. Okay, there should be some law, minimum number of students. Okay, like this, everyone will say. Okay, so that kind of distortion it can create in the market. So that's why arguments are going and all those way. So we'll see. Okay, we'll see at some other day. But today you need to understand clearly what is MSP, minimum support price, and what are the issues that are causing, and how the government is going to use this. Government has raised a lot of food grains. Now what it will do? Government will sell it through the public distribution system to the citizens. But sometimes whenever it stores in the containers, they are eaten by rats and all. So that's why Shanta Kumar committee once, okay, it said reform this PDF system, maintain some reforms in this PDF system so that there is efficiency in this PDS. I have not covered entire PDS system. I have given you just idea. We have discussed basis for the MSP. Okay. So I have given whatever the issues that are there. I have given in the material issues: crop disparity, groundwater depletion, lack of crop diversification. Can also encourages the monoculture. India is known for variety of the crops and cereals. Okay, but only if you are promoting rice and wheat, this can create the monoculture. 1 or 2 crops are being grown instead of multiple crops. And also, not every farmer is able to utilize this thing. Only rich farmers are getting benefited. Small farmers, they do not have the idea what is MSP. Okay. So it is only benefiting few as per the studies. Okay. So last and important article we'll be discussing today is immune system. This was the article that was given in the Hindu. Okay. So let me show you the thing. This was the article. Malaria reinfection creates special immune cells, says majority study. So now you need to know, basically I have not went into the malaria, how it is caused. Malaria is basically caused by some kind of parasite. There are different types of the parasites, like malaria, plasmodium, vivax, okay, different types of things. Basically, it transferred through the mosquito, okay. So now they are saying repeated infections of malaria is giving immunity to the people. So this knowledge is going to help us in the vaccine development. So for that, let's understand a little bit about the immunity, how our immune system functions. See, you have in your body immunity to defend your body from the outside organisms or any kind of threats. There is two types of immunity, innate immunity and adaptive immunity. Innate means you got by birth, naturally. Okay, so any disease enters, okay, if disease is entering your body or any external thing, unwanted thing is entering your body, naturally your body has the immunity and it will fight that and stops infection in your body. This is natural thing, but your body do not have that natural factor. Okay, some new infection has attacked your body. So first time you will not be able to do anything, but once it enters your body will remember, okay, this is the system. Okay, accordingly it will generate the antibodies. Next time when the same disease comes, now it is ready. Come, I know you will come. Okay, so this is called adaptive immunity. This is based on the record of threats of like with the help from the memory cells. Okay, it has two components, B cell and T cells. Okay, B cells are the one which generates the antibodies. T cells are basically which help to activate various immune cells. You need to remember T cells and the B cells. These are the cells which are helping for the immunity generation. See, basically you will study in your HIV, human immunodeficiency syndrome. In the HIV, because of that virus, your T cells number will go down. Immunodeficiency syndrome. When this happens, your immunity is going down, so you will get infected by different types of the diseases. Okay, so basically when the person is affected by the HIV, so he will die because of the other infections, comorbidity. Like if you get affected by the TB or even the small infection also can cause him huge because his T cells count will go down. So one of the way to find out whether the person is affected by HIV or not, to check his T cells count also. So clear. So T cells and B cells are very important. Now when this thing is happening, you might be knowing. So whenever like say you get some kind of infection, you will get the fever. So this is the body's response to rise the like say whenever your body is fighting, generating the immunity and all. So your body is going through certain state. Okay, certain things. So so that's why you will get the fever. This is a mechanism. Certain consequences will be there. Okay. So that's why even when you take the vaccine, the same thing happens. So till here, if it is clear, now we will try to understand what is a vaccine is. Then I will get into what is the new invention. So okay, we will first do what is this TR1 cells. Now within these T cells itself, they have found a cell called TR1 cells. Now these TR1 cells, according to the study, they have developed a greater memory. They can remember things for the longer duration. They are well prepared. Basically, the persons who are getting repeatedly affected by this malaria, now their memory is because of this TR1 cells, they are able to store the information very strongly, and next time they are able to generate the immunity and also not causing any kind of consequences. There is no rise of other things like rise of fever and all. These things are not happening. They are able to handle well. Okay. See here, in a groundbreaking study, researchers have discovered a subtype of T cells known as T1 cells play a dominant role in mounting an immune response to malaria, specifically to the Plasmodium falciparum parasite. Okay, it was conducted in the Uganda. These are specialized subset of the T cells. They play a crucial role in maintaining the immune balance by preventing excess immune response and inflammation which can damage the body's own tissue. Like I mentioned, so when there is a huge infection, your body's own tissues get damaged. Generally, even during a COVID time, okay, so people whoever has our body is trying to basically to defend your body, okay, with this natural mechanism, generation of the antibodies. But in this process, it is also destroying the other organs. So sometimes people might have died because of this reason also. But this TR1 cell is able to balance by preventing excess immune response and the inflammation. Okay, so this is the discovery. Now same thing can be utilized in the vaccine. What is vaccine? In the vaccine, so now we know your body has a mechanism where they can have the memory and next time when the infection occurs, they can attack. So in the vaccine, what I am doing is I am sending the disease causing organisms information. Okay, I am sending the live vaccine in a attenuated form. Okay, maybe in the polio or anything, in a bacteria or some virus in a live, but or maybe it in a weakened form. I am sending into the body, or dead one I am sending, so that body gets the information. Anything I can do. So basically, purpose is I am sending the information regarding that particular organism in my body. So once the body sees something external organism has entered, they will start the developing the antibodies to fight it. Sometime next time later you get infected by the same organism. Okay, this time live or real one, but your body is already prepared. This is the vaccine. Okay, so understood the vaccine. So when you take the vaccine, basically you are taking the information of that particular organism, so that your body generates the antibodies in response to that organism. Next time when you get really affected, then you are in a better position to fight. But basically what happens is our body's memory is weak. That's why you get booster doses after 2 years, 3 years, so that your immune system does not forget. You will get booster doses for various vaccines. Now here we have discussed this TR1 cells have a better memory. Now you can use this thing for the balance as well as a better memory. So this is a kind of innovation that has happened. So that's all for today. Hope you are enjoying the lectures. Do let me know if you are enjoying the lectures in the YouTube. And we are doing efforts so that concepts are properly cleared, not just some facts or randomly provided to the student. We are trying to focus on the concepts, how it is relevant for the UPSC and mains point of view. Hope this thing is helpful to you. Thank you and bye-bye for today.